St James Ethics Centre has proposed to the New South Wales Government that in cases where parents make a conscientious decision that their children not attend special religious education or scripture classes as they're called, that those children have access to an alternative, namely that they be able to do a program based on ethics. And the reason why we made that proposal is not that we're opposed to kids attending scripture, but instead it's on the basis that we were approached by parents who said, look, our children end up sitting outside a principal's office or just colouring in because they're not allowed to do anything useful. And they wanted to know, why is it that if the kids going to scripture are getting to understand some ethical questions plus theology and faith-based issues, why can't we have the other bits without the faith and the theology that is the thing we object to in a sense, but get the ethics basis? And we thought, well, why can't they? So we contacted the New South Wales Government. We said, why not do something really interesting for these children? And the response came back to say, well, actually, no one's really interested in this. You know, there aren't any parents. Why bother? And so we said, oh, well, that might be true. So let's check that out. We went to the Parents and Citizens group. We asked them, and we were overwhelmed, really, by the level of interest on behalf of children from those parents. And it wasn't just those who make the decision not to send their kids to scripture classes. There were plenty of people in the audience I spoke to who send their children, they're deeply committed to their own religious views, and they said this just isn't fair. It's not fair that children be parked in the way they are. Therefore, we support the idea that we at least explore the possibility of having that option. So that's the idea that we've been pursuing and why we've been doing it, really in the name of the children and those who are affected by parents making a conscientious decision.
You mentioned you've consulted with the faith-based groups. What's their perspective on this?
Oh, it's a range. I mean, there are some faith-based groups that have really embraced this idea. They've said, look, this could be fantastic. This is not something that you would do at the exclusion of faith groups. This might actually answer one of our prayers. You know, we sit there offering special religious education. We have a cost to try and develop curriculum material. Wouldn't it be fantastic if you were to develop some things around ethics, which we could then build back into our faith communities and use this? So it could be a resource available for people teaching scripture, as well as those doing this alternative program, which means that the justice of the argument, if you like, works both ways. So that's one sort of approach. Others have said, oh no, don't want to be part of it. We've already got our house in order. We've got fantastic materials. There's nothing we could learn from a process like this, so we don't want to be part of that. And then there have been those who've been opposed because they think it's the thin edge of the wedge. They say, oh no, you know, this hour we have every week has been specially reserved just for religion. And we don't want to have anything introduced which might make it more attractive for people not to attend scripture. Now, our response to that is to say, okay, we understand those issues. We are definitely not opposed to people attending scripture classes, but we think privileging your position to make sure that your own particular religious worldview is being articulated should not be done at the expense of these children.
Mm-hmm. And what about the Minister of Education? Have you invited her perspective?
Oh, well, obviously, not just this one. We've been engaging with premiers and successive ministers for education. In this case, we've tried again to engage. We've spoken, for example, with the Minister of Education's representatives to try and understand from the department's point of view what they think about this, what their concerns might be, how could they be met. We've also been asked to speak with the faith groups in their formal setting. So there's a consultative committee which exists, and we've been talking to them, and as I've said, we've had a mixed response. Some have been positive, some have been indifferent, some have been opposed. Of course, I wonder sometimes, from the Minister's perspective, where she's ultimately going to decide these things. The parents and citizens have been really, really clear about this. I think the wider community, from all the feedback we've got, is really clear about the fact that the children shouldn't be punished by being denied some essential good that the others are getting. And I'm just not sure that it's consistent with a democratic approach to this to say that a proposal of this kind should be vetoed by just one subsection of the community.
Good luck.
Thank you.